Well, this was teleprompter Trump. This wasn't what he does particularly well. He was standing, reading a script that somebody else had written for him. He came to life only when he went off script, those little asides that he's very good at doing. Look, you only get one chance to make a first impression, and he made his first impression coming down the escalator in 2015 in Trump Tower. This time round, we'd kind of seen it all before. We'd heard it all before. There's not a lot new to offer. But of course, there is the fascination of Donald Trump being back in the race. The circus is back in town.
Yeah. It is a little different, Mark, in that his own party has warned him that he's become disruptive. It follows a midterm showing that was underwhelming, to say the least. Where does he sit within the party at this point?
He still has a very, very large power base, but now he has defined the Republican Party for the last 4 or 5 years. But he no longer owns the Republican Party. There is quite a lot of dissent from different quarters. And this time he potentially faces quite a strong challenge, be it from Ron DeSantis in Florida or Glenn Youngkin in Virginia. So he is not necessarily the presumptive king of the Republicans already. He's got quite a hard-fought race to get through. I mean, frankly, I don't think in 720 days or whatever it is, I don't believe he will be the Republican who faces up to the presidential election.
That's fascinating. So you talk of Ron DeSantis. He had an incredibly strong showing when he was re-elected as governor of Florida, which is such a key state. Do you think he'll be the man to challenge him? And could we even see the Republican Party falling behind him to negate Donald Trump?
Yeah, in some ways, Ron DeSantis is even more Trumpist than Trump himself. I mean, he's a true believer in this. He is a man of the right. He is probably a better politician. What he is not quite so good at is being the celebrity at the front of the campaign. That's where Donald Trump is unmatchable. So you're putting up somebody in DeSantis who is quite good on policy, who has been a good follower of Trump in the past, but has to stamp his own authority. Whereas with Trump, we know what we'll get. It will be entertaining all the way along. It'll be a scary ride for all of those who are around him. But is he the serious politician you want for serious times in global politics?
Yes, I mean, if you just consider what's happening right now and how calming a very experienced hand like Biden, even if, you know, he does, of course, come across as not as sharp and as on top of things, he has the administration behind him. Now, this would be probably an interesting play for the Democrats if Donald Trump was going to be the candidate again, just the kind of global instability there is.
Yeah, although if we get to 2024 and you have Joe Biden, who will be well over 80, against a 78-year-old Donald Trump, is it actually the best thing for the country and for international politics? I mean, we don't know what is going to happen with either man. But yeah, chances are at the moment we will have a rerun of 2020, which was not by any means a glorious election period at all. We do now have stability with Biden. What Trump will offer will be everything but stability.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the media environment. We had a president who did policy by Twitter. And interestingly, a key media player, Rupert Murdoch, has very solidly withdrawn his support. How could that play into how he's portrayed and his media reach?
It's really, really interesting. So we have Murdoch's New York Post coming out and putting up a Humpty Dumpty Trump falling off his unfinished wall. But equally, I've been looking at some of the Fox coverage from overnight where Sean Hannity was once again leading the charge in support of Donald Trump. So even the Fox empire is quite split. So Murdoch has come out very, very clearly in saying he's not going to back a Trump bid. But how strong is his editorial line going to be with the Tucker Carlsons, the Sean Hannitys, the big commentators that the right in America turn to? Because certainly at the moment, they've fallen into line behind the Trump launch. He really needs Fox. He needs them to be his personal PR service. And if Fox is not going to be on his side, he won't have anything like the reach that he had in the last 2 election cycles.
And Rupert Murdoch now calls him the Republicans' greatest loser. You know, he could, as a candidate, be the reason once again Americans come out to try and protect their democracy as they showed during the midterms and not go down that path, that path of division and chaos.
Well, he is very divisive, and he will always have a base support on his side. But that base support is probably only a third of American voters. The Republicans generally have lost a lot of women because of the reversal of the Roe v. Wade decision, and the Democrats will play hard on that for the next couple of years. It is unlikely that they will get their own federal changes through to bring abortion rights back in favor of women's reproductive rights. But a lot of Trump candidates did not perform particularly well in these midterm elections. And it will be difficult for him to galvanize a much wider support in the Republican Party this time round. He just simply isn't the strength that he was a few years ago. And he's offering nothing particularly new.
Yeah, it's make America great again, even though some would debate as to how great it was under his tenure. Good to talk, Mark. Fascinating times, as you say, always entertaining.
Thank you.